Is Popeyes going bankrupt? Maybe, but we don't really know yet. What we do know is one of the largest Popeyes franchise operators in the country just filed for bankruptcy, and they've already started closing some stores. Sometimes something like this can point to something bigger going on behind the scenes.
Need help finding or researching your franchise and avoiding costly mistakes? Call Franchise Inspectors Broker Group.
I'm Carissa Bay with Franchise Inspectors. We help people evaluate franchises before they invest so they don't end up stuck in something that doesn't make financial sense. So here's what's going on. There's a company called Sailorman who had over 130 Popeyes locations. They filed for Chapter 11 earlier this year. They've already closed about 20 stores and they're sitting on something like $130 million in debt. And to be clear, this is not Popeyes itself going bankrupt. This is one of their biggest operators inside the system that's having problems. But this is where it gets interesting, because if someone that big, that experienced, is struggling, it kind of makes you wonder what's actually going on underneath the surface. And part of it could be just the industry. Chicken space is getting brutal. Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Wingstop, everyone's fighting for that same chicken customer. So even if you're doing decent sales, it doesn't automatically mean that you're making good money. So let's dig into their item 19 and the FDD, because on the surface, Popeyes looks like a strong brand. Average sales are around 1.9 million, but instead of guessing what the margins look like, they actually show some real data. So this is still their 2024 data because the 2025 data has not yet been released. They break performance into different sales ranges. On the lower end, stores doing under 1.5 million in revenue, their EBITDA is only around 3 to 4%. In the middle range, with 1.5 million to 2 million in revenue, it moves up closer to about 12% EBITDA. And then the higher performing stores over 2.5 million in sales can get closer to 17 to 18% EBITDA. So there's a pretty wide range depending on how the location performs. But what's important is a large number of these locations fall into those lower and middle tiers. And that's where the margins are a lot tighter. For example, a store doing around 1.1 to 1.2 million in sales might only be generating around 40 to 50,000 in EBITDA. That's straight out of the FDD. And that's before you factor in things like debt, rent, or how the business is financed, which can vary quite a bit from one operator to another. So when you look at it that way, you can start to see how the economics can get tight, especially for operators managing multiple locations. So now go back to a company like Sailorman. They've got over 100 locations, tons of overhead, probably tons of debt. If margins tighten even a little, or if they're on those lower tier of revenues, things can spiral pretty quickly. And this is the part that people miss with franchising. They look at the brand and assume the business is solid because it may be a well-known brand. But those are not the same thing. You can have a great brand and still have operators who are struggling. So, is Popeyes going bankrupt? I don't think that's what this is. The brand is still big and it's still growing. They actually just opened up a brand new location just minutes away from my house. But this is one of those early signals that the economics might not be as strong as people think. It'll be interesting to see their 2025 and their 2026 data to see if stores continue to close. And if you're looking at buying a franchise, this is exactly why you have to go deeper than just the brand name. Because at the end of the day, what matters isn't how big the brand is, it's whether the numbers actually work. If you're already looking at a franchise right now and you just want a second opinion, please reach out to us. We will help you evaluate any current franchise you're interested in, or we'll find you some new options if you're having doubts that you found the right one. And this is all at no cost to you, so you've got nothing to lose. Please reach out to us at franinspect.com.